Okay, so we're nearing the end of our cut here. We're about to see what we end up with. And I'm just gonna stop it a little early, finish it by hand. So this time we're going exactly to 995 and 3 inches. And we're right there. Now I'm gonna take the cross slide and I'm gonna bring it out so it squares off our part. There's our nice square shoulder. And we're gonna cross our fingers that our size is where it is supposed to be. All right, so micrometer out. So we're looking for 999 ideally. Okay, so I'm about 999 and maybe 6/10. That is good. So as long as this didn't drop too much here, and here I'm getting 999 and about 5/10. Pretty doggone good. Check it in the middle, 999.5. All right, I am in spec and I am happy with that. And my taper, for some reason, moved just a little bit more and actually straightened itself back out a little bit. So that's what it takes to hit a tolerance of plus nothing, -2. On yours, if you do end up in a situation where, let's say it comes out at like an inch 1/1000th or something, you don't want to go through and just take like a 1/1000th cut. It never works. It'll always be cut too much, or it won't cut at all, or it'll make your finish look horrible. So if you get that close within a thou or 2 or 3, I would recommend actually just polishing it to get it into specification. Now, just for fun, I'll show you here. We saw what it measured there, so we're about 995.5 or so. I'm just gonna take some emery paper, or I'm sorry, some Scotch-Brite. We're gonna see what kind of material I can take off there with just Scotch-Brite. So, go right here. And sometimes too, you'll end up with taper and you might only have to, take one side, like it might be good on this side and then it might be a little large over here. Well, then just take some emery paper, some Scotch-Brite, and just polish there a little bit, and you can just take down the highest point and then leave the other side alone. But let's just see what happens here as far as just polishing this a little bit. So I'm just taking the Scotch-Brite and kind of going around it. And this will make the finish shine up even a little bit better. So I'm just kind of smoothing everything out there and getting a little more shine. Stick that a little bit. And I don't know, usually Scotch-Brite is only going to take off a few tenths, but let's see what it'll do for us here. Okay. And you can see there's your material coming off on the Scotch-Brite. We'll just see what we achieved now. And again, smooths it out a little bit. Usually that initial hit will take more than anything. And okay, so now we're down to about 999 and maybe 4/10 there. So it took off a couple tenths. And it looks like it took off in a couple more. So we're about 999 even there now. And in the middle, and it's about 998 even, maybe 9/10. And I'm just assuming a little bit here. I don't usually take the mic and actually flip it up and look at all this. I can kind of tell pretty closely of where we are just by looking at the line there and then comparing, like I'd say that's a couple tenths, past 999. That's a couple tenths under 999. And I just do little assumptions there. But you can if you want. I'm not a big fan of taking and doing this, of going and then locking this and then sliding it off and then staring at it like that. I usually like to check it right on the part and just get my feel and see where I'm at on the part. A lot of times when you slide it off the part, there's a chance that thimble can rotate and you'll get a skewed reading. So I like to check it right on there. But as I'm looking at that, I am very happy. And that is in specification. It's pretty shiny, it feels smooth, and everything should be pretty much where I want it to be. Just for reference, let's look at the height of it once. So I'm gonna take this all apart right now. I'm just curious how accurate our travedal was here. So it said it was 3 inches, and that was for me touching the face and moving it back 3 inches. Let's see what it actually nets, and we'll check this in the height gauge. So I need the Allen wrench. I hid underneath it here somewhere. Or maybe I set it here. So, let's put this guy back. So there's our part. What I'm curious about is how accurate are we from 3 inches down using the Travidile. So we'll go, and I've got the digital height gauge right here. Set this down, bring it down on top of the part, and zero it. And slide it over, bring it down. This is a nice way to check a length accurately. And woo, a little farther off than I would thought. 3-inch 14 thou. So I think it must have been the way I touched off the front of it. I would have thought it'd been closer than that, but you don't know until you check it. Realistically, I get 3 inches plus or minus 20 thou, so I'm still good. And if I really wanted to, what I could do right now is I could go and face 14 thousandths off the end of here. That would fix this and bring this right to length where I need it to be. And the overall length, remember, was at 6 inches 17 thousandths, so it would only be 3 thousandths off from perfect. So I could do that, but again, I'm in tolerance, so I would probably just leave it. So these are choices you can make, but just know that there's a lot of times you can use your tolerances to fix your part. So, all right, that is all for now.